Alrighty, a team of loving souls. We're in part 2 on the subject of simplicity, bringing balance into our life. Thank you for being here today. Now, part 2 is the application part, and so let's just jump straight into the Holy Trinity of love, which is thinking love, speaking love, and doing love. But I am drawn to talk about it from the perspective of targeting the physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual sides of ourselves, right? So if we want to just reflect a little bit on the questions that were pondered here in the guidebook as a result of this forest card that I drew earlier today, and if you haven't watched part 1, please do so. It's all about, could your life be simpler? Could you strip back all the complexities that so often create drama and difficulties? Balance is needed. So let's talk about the physical, right? So thinking love, ponder on those questions. Could your life be simpler? Could you strip back all the complexities? Now, physically speaking, what is it about you as an individual, your physical body, that is not working out, that could be made simpler? Are you wearing too much clothes, unnecessary clothes, just over the top, and perhaps that could have been your style, but it's no longer your style, and you need to make a change in your wardrobe, in your outfits. Do you have too many clothes in your wardrobe? Is this something you can recycle and give away and multiply the love with others out there? In your external environment, like I mentioned in part 1, is there too many things in your home or in your garage, things that you're no longer utilizing, and that you might be able to donate or recycle, and as a result, somebody else will get the benefit of the use of that good or product? The physical world also, consider your community, the natural world around you. Do you have parks nearby, bodies of water? Are you living in a city where it's sort of like the concrete jungle, lots of cars, lots of buildings, plants, factories as an example, very industrial area? Consider your physical environment, and is it serving your highest good? Or have you been thinking of relocating recently? Listen to your heart. If it's time to move because that environment, location, that physical presence is no longer serving you good, perhaps it's time to go. You might be even inspired to go overseas somewhere you've always dreamt of. Listen to your heart. Listen to your highest self, my friends. And the other thing, before we move on to mental, I am drawn to say, sometimes even stepping out into the nature and spending some time in nature next to a body of water, or spending some time with the animal kingdom, your pets or loved ones. You might be inspired to go to a place or somebody else, a group of friends who might have more animals, farm animals as an example, to go and just have some fun in the forest, unwind, detox. You might have a clearer mind as a result of that trip, as a result of their journey, that may give you some more energy and boost towards considering some options as to what additional steps you could take in order to make your life more simpler. So, like what's portrayed in this image, spend some time with the trees. I think that's what it says. Yeah, seek the trees if you need to connect with what's really important to you. Go spend some time with the tree. Touch the bark, touch the leaves. Connect with them, physically touch them, connect with the tree in your mind, connect with the animals as well. So pet them if you're able to, if it's safe to do so, of course, depending on the animal. Connect with them spiritually. Call out on your spiritual totem animal if you know what it is, or you're drawn to a particular animal. You might want to do that in your mind, or you can speak out loud. You can speak with nature, you can speak to animals and get that clarity that way, in order to get more natural balance in your life. As I said, soak up the energy that is held there. Spend some time in nature. So your physical environment, physical presence might be very, very crucial and important for you in order to get some more simplicity in your life. Oh yeah, lifestyle block, that's the other thing that just popped through. So some of you might be considering, not relocating or purchasing like a lifestyle block with some farm animals. That might be the dream you always had. Maybe it's time to start manifesting that into reality, and I'm sure the universe will assist you through that process. Alrighty, on the mental side, so one of the things we briefly touched upon is, through the card of Hierophant, that higher education, higher knowledge. I had thoughts coming through in my head. We've got lots of swords here, which is like your thoughts or your mind. Your way or your breakthrough to ensuring that your life is more simpler will most likely start with changing your thought patterns and getting rid of unnecessary negative thinking, or be that, self-harming thoughts or torturing, I'm not good enough, I will never have that, or I am such and such, just any egoistic things that may be happening in your mind perhaps, or the opposite, thoughts of lacking something, and as a result of thinking that you don't have enough or you're lacking something, you might have been fueled to acquire more. But now that you may have found yourself in a place where you've acquired so much more, you still might not be feeling satisfied or balanced, not feeling feelings of disharmony. So perhaps it's time now to actually a wake-up call, a judgment call, to not exercise your free choice, not from a place of fear, of lack, but actually because of love, practicing love. So thinking love, speaking love, and doing love. And I truly hope that this video series inspires you to whatever you do next, whatever choices you make next, to make your life more simpler, more balanced, more harmonious, that come from a place of love rather than a place of fear or lack. So thoughts, mental element, right? So prayer, another thing that comes to mind, prayer is an act of love in my world. So pray to the ascended masters, angels and archangels, the spirit world, God and Asna, to Mother Earth, to the Divine Mother, to Gaia. Connect with any single one of those that I've just mentioned in your own way. Trust your intuition, trust your heart to tell you how to do that best for you. You'll get the custom advice when you put your hand on your heart. And as a result of that, just trust in whatever comes, whatever messages come through, symbols. You might actually have people from the past come into your life and give you a call or send you a message or an email that will generate a discussion about something in your life that might be disbalanced and could actually make it more simpler, more harmonious. Or you might meet a new person or a group of people, a soul tribe perhaps, that will get you away from this place. If you're wishing, your hopes and plans and wishes is to remove yourself from a society or a group of people or a community or belief system where more is merrier, and you're secretly wishing to step away from that and move in a slightly different direction, a direction where we're honoring the earth, nature, animal kingdom, living a simpler life, then this might be the wake-up call that you need to hear in order for you to, in order for those innate internal feelings and sensations to come to fruition, to actually be manifested into this reality. And through coming up with a plan, maybe that's the next step that you can do is, right, I'm confirmed, I really want to move away from that environment, I need a plan forward. And so now it's time to use your mental skills, your intelligence, your inner wisdom, in order to come up with a plan, a strategy, and then move, drill down into, like, say, as an example, a 3 month plan, 12 weeks roughly, then a 1 month plan, and then a week plan, and then how does it translate into your daily plan? What step can you take every single day from now on for the next 12 or so weeks, just as an example? The time frame best in your life that will work for you. What can you do in order to move away from that environment into a life that is more simpler, less drama, less difficulties, more harmonious, more in connection with the cycles and patterns of Mother Earth, the nature, the forest, the trees, and the animal kingdom. So we've talked about the physical, the mental, the emotional part. So absolutely, if your emotions are running high and wild and crazy, and you might be experiencing some very extreme emotions, and you think about the challenges, the difficulties, consider what is causing that. You use that mental aspect we've just discussed, use your intelligence to perhaps go to the core and understand what is driving the particular emotions in your life. Are you experiencing a disbalance in your life? Are you feeling off balance? Are you not feeling centered? If so, you may wish to click down on the link below. I will set out in the description box, literally to my most recent video series on feeling not centered. Okay, when you're not centered, not feeling centered, that might be a video series that you may want to watch. And there may be a few messages there for you that might help you out. Now, back into the emotions. So drama. So I had this word drama, and it's in the messages there. That sometimes we have too many people in our life, as in there are people that you're connecting with, you're speaking with, you are exchanging energy, you might be giving, you might be receiving, you pick up on other people's energies when you go doing shopping, or you go pay your bills, or you go to work, or you catch the public transport, you go and play sports, or your hobbies, you go to the movies or whatever. There's people all around of us, and sometimes you might be getting yourself into connections or discussions or socializing or even gossiping that gets you into much drama. And quite frankly, please do not underestimate what I mentioned just now as like the physical connections in the meetings with the people, but at the same time that could happen through social media. You could be in your own home by yourself, but you're connecting with others all around the world, all around your community, right? Even if it's not a physical connection, and you're sharing, exchanging information, you're receiving data. Every time you scroll your Facebook and Instagram, you see other people's photos or messages, you absorb that, you receive that, you process that, and as a result of that there could be challenges and obstacles and a sense of disharmony, feeling of lack of balance, because it's not a simple life, because you're not actively trying to reduce the drama and then reduce the number of connections, reduce the number of attachments that result on a daily basis because of all those connections that are established. And the simpler way to go forward might be actually to perhaps, use the sword of the Page of Swords. She's got a sword in her hand at the back. She's holding at the back. Not in the front, she's not attacking, but she's sort of at the back, kind of like a self-defense mode, I think. And sometimes you can use the sword not as a weapon, but as a tool to chop off those unwarranted connections or attachments that are no longer serving your highest good. And one practice is either you can close your eyes and visualize people or connections or circumstances or situations that are no longer serving you well. Imagine there's a cord or connection between you, yourself, and that thing in front of you, and that thing in front of you could be like sitting on a chair or standing on stage, and there's a cord between you. Chop it off with an imaginary sword. Just chop it off, sever that connection, and you can even visualize that thing in front of you, just you're going back, just moving forward, zooming out, and the connection is severed. Likewise, you can call on your beautiful Archangel Michael, who has a wonderful fiery sword in his hand, and you can ask him to chop that connection, sever that connection for your benefit. And likewise, something I do when I have no idea as to what is it that might be causing me trouble or causing issues or disharmony or lack of balance in my life, I call on Archangel Michael in order to use his beautiful sword wisely, because he knows better the things and elements in my life that are not serving my highest good. So I ask him literally in my mind, and I kind of pray to him to sever all those connections and attachments that are no longer serving my highest good, and just only leave those that are serving my highest good at this point in time. If that's on an emotional level, that brings me the emotional balance and realignment that I need, and I do observe it, and I thank him, and I show gratitude to him, and I thank him in advance for his efforts. And perhaps that's something that you can use as a tool in order to help you outgo and become, have a more simple life and become more emotionally stable and balanced as a result of the connections that we make as we move on, day to day. Now, moving into the spiritual things. spiritual aspect of us. So how can we get more spiritual balance? So I'm drawn to this judgment call from the major arcana, the universal laws, and I'm saying victory over death or fear of its loss, so thinking about death, completion, end of cycle. So yeah, maybe end of cycle of over consumerism, or that is bringing overwhelming sensations or feelings, or distressing situations. You might be, you may have finally decided to step away from the community or the journey that you have been on up to this point in time, an environment that just was all about taking, and not really leaving much for the rest, not giving back. And it's time to bring more balance into your life by having a balance between the give and the receive, a true balance to make sure that you give enough as you receive back, and vice versa. You might be on the other end, you may have given a lot of yourself, and actually it's perhaps the message for some of you will be, it's time to activate the energy of receipt to bring in balance in your life. I don't know why that's come through, but that might be important for some of you, so please comment down below. V for value, if you found that message valuable, that would be really helpful for me to hear. Yeah, so we are talking about the spiritual, so as the practice of calling onto your Archangel Michael that I just mentioned before is something you may wish to try. Likewise, you're never alone. You've always got your beautiful spirit guides and your guardian angels with you at any point in time. If you do not know what's the next best thing that you can take in order to bring in more balance into your life, to make your life simpler, call on your guardian angel or angels, your spirit guides, your team upstairs, the holy team upstairs, in order to send you some physical evidence and physical signs as to what it is you can do in order to make your life more simpler. And pay attention to what comes next, whether it's visuals in your mind, dreams at night. It could be items around you, look to the left, look to the right, up and down, look within, look at the titles of the books in front of you, look at the oracles. Use crystals or tarot cards, oracles, or dice, or anything else that you might be drawn to in your life to get you that answer that you are seeking. It might be something in the music that you listen to, a particular song just stands out more than others. There can be, as I said, connections, people may come into your life, or you might be walking, say, imagine you're doing grocery shopping and you walk by a group of people chatting, you just hear something there that just kind of resonates deeply, and you're like, right, that's the answer to my question. So social media or pop-ups on your phone, emails, things like that, newsletters, those newsletters that you might be deleting, you feel like automatically deleting, but then one day you might be just drawn to something on the subject matter on the email. Who knows, that might be the answer that you need, that may get you to making your life more simpler. And the last thing that I want to mention is seek out your soul tribe, seek out your spiritual tribe, whether it's on this channel, like-minded individuals, or temples, churches, other places of worship, spiritual places. There's plenty of those where you can meet your soul tribe and connect with people of like-minded values and principles who might get you, which might be the breakthrough that you need in order to move on to a life that is more balanced and more simple, and they might have more practical tips that one can take advantage of. And so the last aspect that I really want to talk about on part 2 before I wrap up, so we've talked a lot about thinking love, doing love, a little bit of speaking love, but I really want to drill in on the speaking love, and that's speaking about whatever it is that's on your heart. If you're an individual here that wants to move away from one environment to another environment, or one lifestyle into a different lifestyle that is more simple, that is more balanced, speak that out loud to yourself, to your loved ones, to the spiritual beings around you. Share it with your community. Talk to your colleagues about it if you're inspired to. It might enlighten others to actually seek out a more simple life. And comment down below as well. Sharing is caring. So speak your love, speak your truth. If you've done something that has made your life more simpler and it has actually been a great breakthrough in your life to feel more balanced, please share your story down below, how you managed to do that. What was your approach? What are some key takeaways? Because I'm sure the community here of people on this channel who subscribed and others who are watching will take great merit. There will be a lot of merit and value in those words in your stories, hearing from people and being encouraged to be to do or follow in similar steps, to do something for yourself because somebody else has done it, so there's definitely value in that. So please do comment down below and speak your truth and speak to others. Share away with the loved ones, with your friends, your journey, or the fact that you're wanting to go on this journey of making your life a little bit more simpler, and perhaps you with other like-minded individuals within your family or your friends, or it could be in your workplace of work, you could unite and actually take some proactive steps as a little collective, as a group, to make a huge milestones, take some steps, huge steps to bring about the change that you need in order to make your life much more simpler and as a result more balanced for yourself and the wider group, the wider community. So I'm going to wrap up part 2 there. I would love to have more messages from the spirit world on this topic, and those will be in part 3. So click down on the link below to part 3 and we will have more from the spirit world. See you shortly.